What's good, Mad Gang? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another YouTube video. Now I know this is another setting, a different setting than what I used to have with both my arms, of course. I had a little bit of a freak accident with the wrestling practice, tore this side of the bicep. So recovery process is 4 to 6 weeks. So I had nothing to do and I thought, let me create a YouTube video where I expose 8 to 10 trading myths or give you tips on how to be a better trader, because you probably watched the boot camp and you now feel like you're stuck in a rut from a break-even trader to a profitable trader, and it's been sitting on my heart. I've been receiving emails, I've been receiving DMs from a lot of traders struggling with some different things. So I thought, let me shoot this video and talk to you, have a masked two-person conversation with you so we can run through some differentials that I kind of feel like will separate you from a break-even trader to a profitable trader. And point number one is probably let's start with my least favorite up until my favorite. I'm going to end with my most favorite point in the trading industry. My least favorite is, and it's a little bit of a word of advice, is you don't need another course, bro. You don't need to buy another course. You don't need to follow another trading influencer. You don't need more entry methods or another strategy. Yes, if you're starting out, I kind of feel like you have to go through those growing pains. But if you've been trading for 1 year or even 2 years, stop that feeling of feeling that you need to buy more courses or that you need to learn more entry methods. If you buy a course and that course is that will walk with you one-on-one through this journey, well then 100%. But don't feel like you need to buy a course. And I know a lot of influencers are going to hate me for saying this, but don't feel like you need to sign up for another course just because you want to learn another entry method. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything on YouTube can help you. But when we get to my favorite point, you're going to realize why it's not necessary for you to buy another course. Another point that I want to talk about, point number 2, let's call it, is what I just reiterated. There's nothing new under the sun. I'm going to make a prediction, and then in about 3 to 6 months, we can come back and you can tell me whether I was right or wrong. In the next 3 to 6 months, there's going to be a lot of new talks in the industry, in the trading industry, on order flow trading or trading futures or people shifting over to futures. I'm making that prediction right now on the 4th of November 2025. Why is that? Once again, course sellers are not going to like me, bro. I myself sell a course, but I sell a course because I want to walk one-on-one with my members. So don't think I'm a hypocrite or anything. You can judge me whatever you like, but I'm here to be honest with you, and I'm here to showcase to you what it really takes to be a trader. And by doing that, I need to break down the walls so we can build it back up again. But nothing new under the sun, man. There's a lot of new traders that are going to come in and talk about order flow or book map or level 2 data or futures data. If you're a new trader, don't even stress about that. But you'll see a lot of traders talk about a different software or a different bot that can spot orders in the market, or where you can see bid or ask orders. Dude, I've been trading futures since 6 years ago. I've been trading level 2 data longer than most of these traders even knew what trading is. And I'm here to tell you it does not give you an edge. Yeah, if it gives you an edge 5% maybe, there will be a lot of cons. Like I spoke to another trader the other day, very good friend of mine, also in the influencer space, very big order flow trader, and his win rate is 45%. And we're going to touch base on the win rate later. But I'm not diminishing him, I'm not talking down on him. What I'm saying is 45% is still good enough to make money. But if you think having an order flow software or a new software where you can spot orders is going to give you 100% win rate, which is trash, by the way, you're in it for the wrong reasons. Order flow helps you to spot orders, but then it brings us to another level of conversation where we need to talk about iceberg orders. You can have spoofing. You can have people place orders and then retrieve them right when you think that is a buy order for, let's say, for example, there's a sell order on gold at $4,020. The price would push to that level with like a magnet, but then just before you think that's a key selling area, you would sell there, and then the original sellers, or the asks that you get bid and ask in futures, the original ask level would just be gone. That's an iceberg order. That's trying to manipulate you to think that that's a key order to trade at. But that's a topic for another day. I'm just trying to tell you that they want to come up with new things all the time, new topics, new fancy words to sell you a course, to tell you that you need to study more. And this hashes in with my first point. Stop thinking you need to study more. You got what it takes. Look at me right now. You got what it takes. You don't need to study more. You don't need to put in more hours. I'm going to tell you what you need to put more hours into, but you don't need to put more hours into watching another influencer or even watching my videos for that matter. I want to see you succeed, bro. I want to see everyone succeed. Why, MC? Why do you want to see everyone succeed? Because I want to increase my circle. And there's a saying that goes, if you want to be successful, you need to surround yourself with successful people. So if I surround myself with more successful people and more successful people, we're all going to become successful. But if I rise and the other people around me, they fall down, it's going to be inevitable for me to fall down in life as well. I want to improve my circle. So I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, man, it's beneficial for me if you succeed as well. So just keep that in mind. With that being said, the third point, I'm trying to run through them because I know the attention span of us is not that long anymore. The third point is that I want to touch base on this because I know it's going to piss a lot of people off. Sorry, excuse my French. There's no such thing as 100% or 90% win rate. You cannot be sustainable like that. And this is going to hash in with my favorite point that I want to add on at the end. If you have a 90 or 100% win rate, which I myself have sometimes, but that only lasts a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month. In the month of October, I had a 100% win rate, but I know a loss is going to come. So if you ever hear somebody tell you they have a 100% win rate or 90% win rate, this is beginner topic, by the way, but if you ever hear somebody say that, you put on your fastest running shoes, bro, and you run as far as you possibly can, because that is not possible. Think about it this way. Justin Bieber, we all know Justin Bieber. He's one of the top artists in the world. Even him, he has expenses. He has to pay the band, he has to pay security, he has to pay his marketing team, he has to pay the fuel or the gas to get that side. There's a lot of expenses for his revenue that he gets in. He has to pay for losses to get to that level of revenue. So he has to pay a learning school as well. There's no such thing as money falling into your lap. Who are we as traders to think we have a 100% win rate, we'll jump into the market, just click buy and sell, and we'll make millions with 100% win rate? It's not sustainable thinking that way, but luckily I got a solution for you. Even with athletes, man. With athletes, they need to see psychologists, they need to see physiotherapists, they need to run a lot of expenses, supplements, the correct merchandise. That is all losses, you know. We as human beings, we don't want to give something or have something being taken away from us. And that way we see that as losses. But I don't want you to think of it that way. I want you to think it as a participation fee. You're participating, and I always say this to my members, it's like fishing, bro. You will catch a big fish, but you won't catch any fish if your line is not in the water. So you throw in, if your feed falls off from your hook, to those people that know fishing, if your feed falls off from your hook, you're not going to gamble your entire fishing rod on just catching one fish, bro. Well, if you're very desperate, but you're going to lose at the end of the day. You throw in your line, if your feed falls off, that's a loss. You just take it back, throw in your feed again until that big fish comes your way. And I know it's laughable, but it has to be practical like this so that everyone can understand. My point that I want to make after that is very crucial to remember, and this hashes in with my final point. Everything hashes in with my final point, is your value at risk, VAR. You can Google right now. That is a term that hedge funds use, that banks use. They want to look at their value at risk, and by doing that, they look at, apart from a discretionary system, but a systematic approach to their trading that depicts whether they will correlate their coefficient methods with GBP USD or entering Euro USD. They will look at hedging their markets, but none of those entries, it has to create a value worth risking. Now, if that's a little bit too complicated, I want to take that to approach in life. Anything in life worth having is going to come with risk. So it's exactly the same in trading, and this just hashes on with my previous statement. You have got to put some risk on the table. but you will see it's kind of like a rainbow effect. If you have too much risk on the table, you have no confidence. And with no confidence, hashes on to my first point, you will feel like you need to learn more and learn more and learn more. And inevitably, you don't need that. So I'm preaching to someone right now. I honestly hope somebody's listening, that this will really just impact somebody's trading. If I can impact one person's trades with this video, then I'm happy with myself, and I see that as mission accomplished. Because man, I've spent 10 years in the game. I've seen 6-figure payouts, 5-figure payouts. I've seen it time and time again, people rising to the top and then falling down low. I need you all to get rid of that thinking, and remember that I've been 10 years in the game. I've seen these things so that you don't have to. So I'm here to help you today. Okay? This brings me to my next point. If you ever feel that you don't have confidence in the markets, you need to think of it as practice, right? And now bear with me, let me explain. I have this term that I like to call data collection, and I like to collect data based on everything that I possibly can in the markets. By doing that, I gain a sense of confidence that is unmeasurable to any extent, because I feel confident when I take a trade. I know what to expect from the markets. I know what is my probabilities in the markets, and I know what my capabilities are in the markets. When I refer to data collection, I need you to learn who you are in the markets. Trading will teach you more about life than life itself, and I firmly believe that. So you need to understand, are you a better seller than a buyer? Do you like to trade better on Tuesdays than on Wednesdays? You need to look at these things. Do you like to trade USD-based pairs as opposed to Japanese yen-based pairs? That's what I do with my academy, bro, is I walk hand in hand with my members. I don't just give them a crash course and tell them that they need to make money, follow these 3 lines, and Bob's your uncle, you're going to make money. Trading is not like that. You need to stop pushing down your talents, your God-given talents, and you need to look them in the eye, and you need to be able to say, hey, I'm good at selling gold, in times of bearish influx. Or I like to trade on Tuesdays. We need to look at your strengths and use that to create a better life for you. Okay, so on to the next point, is an accountability sheet. I am a firm believer of accountability in the space of trading. Now, before you laugh, just hear me out and understand my reasoning behind it. If you're a trader, you need to have somebody that will look at you or your thought process, someone from the outside. I use my wife, but if you have a friend or relative staying with you, have a one-pager sheet, a one-pager, where you take accountability of your trades before you take a trade. So for example, if you take a buy on gold this afternoon, it doesn't matter if it's a win or a loss. Somebody just has to see your thought process behind it and ask you some questions, but set up your accountability sheet like it's that person asking you questions. For example, am I trading during a news event? Am I risking 1% on my prop firm account? Is the market structure following my bias? You need to ask these questions for yourself so that you have accountability and somebody else can judge your thought process. That's going to humble some people, because I understand that ego is a big thing in this space, and that's precisely why we do that. Now, data collection, accountability sheet, not learning more courses, all of these things, you might look at this video and you'll be like, what's this dude talking about? Is this a joke? And no, it's not a joke, bro. I'm equipping you with something that will make you money for the rest of your life, and I need you to grasp this. By following this, nothing can control you, bro. Not even losses, not even the fact that you cannot control losses. That fear that you have for your next loss that's going to blow your account, if you follow my advice today, and I know a lot of people, they're not going to do that, but if you're that one dude who's going to lock in after this video, then you'll realize that this is going to change your life forever. You just now need to lock in. And by locking in does not mean watch 3 hours worth of YouTube videos or watching more TikTok videos on successful traders. Forget about all of that, Fugazi. Focus on you. Fugazi is fake, by the way. Focus on you, and remember that you have what it takes. Now, look, I see the video is almost 15 minutes in, so I wanna get to the point right now, and I wanna talk about 2 more points. There's a bunch of other keys or tips that I can give you, but let's focus on the last 2. The second last one is win rate. Now, we already touched base on this, but I want to refer you to the book, The Way of the Turtle. And it's a book written by the Turtle Traders. It's a group of traders that our friend Dennis took, and he took them to, I think, managing over $175 million in just 3 years. I think they 300x'd the account. And you know what the key point in that is? They had a 35% win rate. So if they can do that, man, with a hedge fund, can you imagine what you are capable of? I need you to stop doubting yourself. I need you to remember that it is possible. Study The Way of the Turtles, man. They're a huge motivation to me. I always reflect to them. Don't let your win rate break you. If you think that the next trade is going to be the best trade, a generational wealth trade, you're in the wrong. You're acting emotionally. We need you to take a step back, and I need you to look at this as a systematic way. That's the key, my friends. If you look at trading in a systematic way, get rid of your emotions and gain a probability edge over all of that, then you'll be here for the long run. I need you to ask yourself a question. The habits that you have right now, are these habits that you think you'll have in 10 years when you're managing $10 million, $15 million, or when your net worth is $20 million? Do you think these are habits that somebody of that level portfolio will have? If you take longer than 1 second to guess, you're in the wrong spot, my friend, and you need to make some changes. I am striving to go that way, so I'm constantly renewing my mind. Where's my book, man? Just before I jumped on this video, I was reading Think and Grow Rich. You need to empower yourself with knowledge. If after you jump off from this video, I need you to data collect, I need you to read a good damn book, and I need you to have an accountability sheet set up. But don't come to me and say, MC, I'm struggling with trading, when you don't do your part. You don't journal, you don't data collect, you don't have an accountability sheet. Of course you're not going to make it, bro. But it's not that difficult as people make it out to be. You just need to bring your part. And then this brings me to my very final point, which is my favorite point. It took me 6 years to realize this, and I see a lot of people talk about this, but not to the point where it's actually acceptable to in my opinion, and that is your risk to reward ratio. My friends, if you start to look at trading with a risk to reward ratio mindset, that I'm risking 1% to make 6%, I'm risking 1% to make 3%, that is odds that you will never ever see. You need to start thinking in probabilities with your risk to reward ratio. I'm saying this to free someone right now of the feeling of neglect and the feeling that they need to study their ass off for the next 3 months. You don't need to, bro. If you can trade and you have an edge, you got what it takes. Just get some skin in the game and understand the risk to reward ratio is everything. I've seen so many people blow up their accounts because they don't know how to calculate their risk to reward ratio. If you take 3 losses in a row, if you risk 1%, you're only down 3%. After that, if you get a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, you're up 2% again. And that is literally with 4 trades, you won 1 and you lost 3. You should not blow your account by taking 1 loss. Losses are inevitable. So risk to reward ratio goes hand in hand with value at risk, such as hedge funds use. If you're taking one thing away from this video, I can talk until tomorrow about this, but I need you to grasp this. Risk to reward ratio, my friends. Don't worry about the losses. Learn from them, but have a smaller stop loss. And that's so easy to say, right? I'm not in your shoes. I don't have the stress you have. But my friends, I promise you, if you start to implement this, you're going to have a stress-free trading journey. Take a jab, take a loss, go again. Take a loss, go again. Take a loss, go again. Now, if you're losing 5 to 6 trades in a row, something is definitely wrong. You need to update your edge or update your entry methods. But you understand where I'm going with this, right? We can all collectively agree that it's just a numbers game. and that's what I want to impose on everyone in my community. If you're watching this video for the first time, you can scroll back to my previous videos, watch me as I traded live, watch my proof on my socials that I know what I'm talking about. I've been 10 years in the game, I've said this before, but I need you all to lock in right now, and I just gave you the blueprint to do that. So you've officially flipped the damn switch if you made it to the end of this video. I'm excited to see the results, and I'm excited to see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. Stay safe.